Hello and welcome to Pink Monarch's Prints. And my name is Bobbi. I'm a guest designer and I'm from Precious Memory Boxes here on YouTube also. And today I want to show you a quick little tutorial on how to make your own frames. Today we're going to be using the kits. I'm using 3 different kits from Pink Monarch Prints. We're using the grungy stamped papers in cream and gray. We're also using the vintage labels. There's quite a few there. And then we're also using the classic words. And you get those in different colors. I just like the black ones, so I cut them out. And one other printable you might want to consider using with this, if you want a pop of color, there's a new butterfly specimen kit that you could grab that and fussy cut out the butterflies and attach them to the side. But today I just wanted to make this a short, quick video to show you an easy way to make frames to go in your junk journals or on your projects. So what I have here, we'll just go ahead and push our scraps aside, our little pieces aside here for a minute. And I have a piece of lightweight cardboard. This is from a shipping envelope from UPS, I believe. And you can use a cereal box, you can use the back of a pad of paper. It all depends on how thick you want your project to be. Mine, I wanted it to be really thin so that it wouldn't bulk up the journal. So it's really thin, but it's sturdy. So the first thing you need to do, and probably what takes the longest, is cutting out your frame. I have a T-ruler. It makes it a lot easier if you have one, but you can use a regular ruler. You're going to take and you're going to mark at 5 on your ruler. Help if I had my pencil going. And 10. So once you have those marked, just go ahead, line up your T-ruler here, and you're going to draw a line straight down. And then you're going to go over to the 10 mark and do the same thing. And then I'm going to go ahead, and since this is such thin little cardboard, you could either cut it or you can use a little craft knife. Let's see, let's go ahead and draw the other lines that go with it. So we've got this one at 5 and 10, and we're going to come to this side, and we are going to mark it at 4 and 8. And when we get done, we will have a frame that is 5 by 7 on the outside. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and draw that till it comes past the lines I've already drawn. All right, a little bit more there. There we go. Now we'll use, and we're going to cut out this square here. If you're better with scissors, and maybe for the big part here, let's use scissors. I probably can cut a little straighter that way. For the inside though, we will use our little cutter there, our little X-Acto knife. All right, so I'm going to cut that off. Basically, you're going to cut around all your lines till you get your 5 by 7 square here. And you probably have enough to do a second frame right there. And maybe 2 more frames here, so go ahead and save that paper. Okay, so I have that there. Now if you have a punch, a square punch that you can line it up and punch the center of this, that is perfect. But if you don't, another way to do this is I'm going to make the edges 1 inch. You can do, you can do 3/4 of an inch, you can do 1/2 inch. You can make them thicker if you want, but I think 1 inch is a good number to start with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 1 inch here at the top, and then I'm going to come over to the 3 and mark 1 inch, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. When you have a T ruler, you only have to mark one side because it'll go down the length of it. But if now this side is longer, so I'm going to mark it at the 4, and that will give us 1 inch all the way around. But if you have a regular ruler, just go around all 4 sides and mark it, and that'll keep you straight. And if you want to use, if you have a little trouble lining yourself up, you know, use your mat if you have one. That always helps to keep me straight. Move that over just a little. All right, and there we go. There's 1 inch on each side. This side looks like I've got it a little crooked here. Let me redo this one. It looks like it's not straight. So let's try that again. And it could be that I might not have cut my paper straight. We're going to go with it for now. But what we're going to do, let's see, let's use a little bit sharper pair of scissors. I'm just going to poke a hole in here, but I'm going to use my craft knife, I think, to cut the rest of it out. And I really didn't have to do that. I'm so used to using scissors and not my craft knife that I forget. I don't need to do that. So go right along your line here where your pencil mark is. Hold your ruler in place and just slide down, watching for your lines so you don't cut the edges of your frame here. And if you do happen to go just a tad over, it's not going to hurt anything because you can cover that up. Wasn't holding my ruler tight enough. You can cover that up simply with your paper and that. There we go. You have to concentrate. Okay, let's see if I got that well enough. There we go. All right. But if you don't have a craft knife, use your scissors. Cut around. There's multiple ways to do this. All right. So what we're going to do next is we are going to pick out which paper we want to use, and I've got some paper here that we can use as a glue sheet. And these are some of the grungy stamped papers. So we'll just pick one out here. I love all of them, so it's hard to just pick one, but I think I want to go with this one. I love this section right here. I'd love to get some of that on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use glue stick and get a good amount on there, especially your corners, all 4 sides. Okay. And then if you can see through your paper well enough, you can line it up about where you want. And leave just a little bit. Leave just like maybe 1/4 of an inch on each side when you cut this. And I'll show you, the reason I like to do this is because I like to fold over my edges. So you can see these are folded over here. That way you have a nice clean look. You can ink them, but you don't have to ink them if they're folded over. Now you can measure it just the same, trim it off, and then ink your edges to cover up the white edges. Whichever way, that you prefer. There's several different ways to do this. And everyone is able to do it the way they like best. Okay. So I'm left that there. I'm going to cut off these edges slightly here to make it easier to fold. Now you can use a glue stick for this part, or you can use liquid glue. I'm going to use liquid glue just because it's a little easier to get into the right spots that I want it in. Let me close this glue up real quick. All right. And I'm just going to put the glue on here and then fold the edge over. And you want to hold it in place just a few minutes till it adheres. Probably not even a minute, about 10 seconds, 20 seconds, it'll adhere. There we go. Let's see, I probably need to put my glue paper back under me here so I'm not making a mess. Getting the mat all sticky. And like I said, you can still, if you want it to be a little grungier, a little older looking, still take your ink and just ink up the sides of it. Okay, so that'll take a few minutes, but I think we got it on the go. And there we go. Now we're just going to poke a hole in here. And I'm going to do the same thing in the center, except this time I am going to use scissors instead of my cutters. And I'm going to do the same thing. Got to leave a little bit of an edge all the way around. Now you can cover the back of your frame if you want to make it like a flip out or something. But mine's going to be where I glue it down to the page so you won't see the back. So I'm not going to add the extra bulk of the paper. You can use different shapes. You can use a circle, oval, whatever you like to make your frame. If you have, like we said before, if you have punches that will make this punch for you, that's wonderful. But if you don't, grab things the size you want, use them to trace and draw lines, and you'll have the same, get the same result. Okay, now I'm going to cut these up to the corner with my little scissors here. Might have got that a little short on that side. Hopefully it'll fold up. Okay, now let's see if we can fold these edges up. We'll try the one that I got really short first. This also gives the inside of your frame a finished look. Also, there's a million ways to decorate the frame also. I love just using the elements from the kits, but you could also add dangles to it. You can make a dangle and add to it. You could grab some gold leaf and rub on and in a few spots. You could splatter it with some paint if you want. You know, if you're a person who likes to add a pop of color, I would suggest to grab the butterfly kit, butterfly specimen kit, cut out one of those butterflies and add to it. And that would look really pretty for a pop of color. Okay, somehow when I was cutting, I made this side a little thicker. I didn't measure right, but you know what? That's all right. Everything doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical when you're doing junk journaling. You make it your own. All right, so let's pick out one of our classic words that we want. We got sweet moments, sweet moments to treasures. That's cute. I like that one. Hang in there. You also have where you can stamp yourself. Life is in the details. Carpe diem. Let your light shine. I like that too, but I think my favorite one is sweet moments for treasures. Now, last time I put it down here in the corner, so let's try something different this time. Let's try and put it up here because I really love this part. I want it to stay on there. And then let's just try out. We need some numbers. You've got to have numbers. There's nothing like numbers. And what else could we use? We've got the darker numbers like that. We also have this big one that we could put down here. Kind of frame out the frame a little. I like that right there. Now this one I will go ahead and I'm going to ink the edges of it just because it's got a little bit of the white cardstock. Some of this I did print on 110-pound cardstock, and some I printed on just white copy paper to help keep it thin. So, and my ink I'm using is Fallen Leaves from the VersaFine Clear. So I'm going to go ahead and just ink this up real quick. There we go. And I picked up some of these little mini daubers from Hobby Lobby, and I really like them. They're fun to use. Okay, so let's put this down here at the bottom. I really like that. And I think I'll put the glue on here because I want to just barely make it cover part of the opening of the frame. All right. And then we've got sweet moments to treasures. Do we want to fold that around? No, we'll do that with another one. Let's keep the whole thing on here. You could also add a tab at the top or on the side. You know, if you're gonna put a picture underneath this and maybe you backed it with a journaling card. I just said I wasn't gonna do that over the side, and look what I did. I was talking too much. Let's see if I can pull that up and reposition it real quick without tearing up. Nope, I've waited too long. All right, we'll go ahead and fold that over. There we go. But you could add a tab to the top or the side, especially if you put, you know, if you were going to have a journaling card glued to the bottom, then you could pull it in and out of a slot. You know, you can use it on a pocket. It can be part of your journal cover. So whatever you want to do, you can do with it. Okay, let's find, we can do something like this. I don't want to cover up this side. I really like that side. But we could put a little label up here. Let it hang down over the frame too. I like that. Oops. All right. And there we go. Quick and simple, easy to make. And they can add so much to your journals. You can use them in so many different ways. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll give this a try, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.